Every loving parent carries in their heart dreams for their child's future. But today, for an exploding number of parents, these dreams are being erased before their very eyes.
Around the age of 15 to 16 months, Ben went through a very rapid regression. He lost his connection to us. He had, at that time, probably about a dozen words, mommy being one of them.
Tyler is 18. He spoke probably 30 words when he was younger. The typical words, ball and mom and dad.
Over a period of 3 or 4 months, lost the language that he had and ceased to need us. It was like he drew into himself. So we'd had this very highly engaged baby, and he just pulled away from us.
He was good up till about almost 2, and then he started pulling away, and we were having trouble holding him. He didn't want to be held or touched.
He just one day stopped speaking, and we went to a neurologist, and he said autism. We said, what is autism? We had never heard of autism.
The hardest thing was the initial diagnosis and coming to terms that your life is not as you thought it would be.
When I started in this field 20 years ago, we were looking at autism as being 1 in 10,000 births.
Three years old, Joshua was diagnosed with autism, and it was heartbreaking for both of us, and we both took it differently, but we were just both shocked.
It's a mystery disease. There's no known cause, no known cure, and there's no simple answers.
If you're a parent now, guess what? It is not an outside, remote kind of chance that your grandchild will have some type of developmental challenges.
The reality is almost unbearable. A new reality is understood. This is long-term.
What people don't realize is what's happening in the life of those with special needs children. Life is hard already. Marriage is hard. Raising kids is hard. But now you have the special needs child that is much more demanding.
It's a little scary for me because unfortunately her tantrums involve demonstrating that she doesn't want to be there by pulling off her clothing, which happened recently in a Walgreens store.
He's at 13, about 5'8" and 165 pounds. And, he's very much outwardly functions as you might imagine an 18-month-old. So remember the ferocious nature of that little 18-month temper tantrum, but now imagine that the body's 165 pounds. For him, rages result in, broken windows, bruised caregivers, injury to himself, injury to those around him.
When autism acts out, its ways are never socially acceptable. Autism tends to make a scene, make a mess, and cast the person with autism and those who care for them in the worst possible social light. Day after day and year after year, the toll this takes is devastating.
It is stressful in a marriage because there's really no uninterrupted time.
I'm a single dad. Mom left 2 years ago. The stress.
Krista Mason is the mother of a son with autism. She has seen the need firsthand. She knows that something must be done. Often, parents of children with autism have no place to go, no place to turn, and when they look ahead, they see a future full of endless questions and no good answers.
There has to be better out there for our special needs population. I mean, I'm not going to fit an 18-year-old in a McDonald's playland, and I'm already thinking, what do we do next?
Benjamin's hope is an answer to the desperate cry of a growing number of families who have nowhere else to turn, an innovative answer that partners public, private, and faith community resources.
I think Benjamin's Hope is a really exciting idea for people with any developmental difference to have a place to go, to have acceptance and fellowship and meaningful work. That's what we all want.
Benjamin's Hope will offer inspiring opportunities for our community. It will be an embracing, natural environment that welcomes our whole community. A place of learning, adventure, worship, and play. Exuberant, unique behaviors that are not always welcome in other public places are not going to be a problem on the property of Benjamin's Hope.
To me, this is so foundational to who we are as Christ followers. We're to love one another. I don't remember our Bible saying, love one another, all those people who are just like you.
I, heard more about it, and I thought, wow, for the first time since my daughter was born, I had hope for her future.
Benjamin's Hope celebrates that all people are unique. Recognizing that one size does not fit all, Benjamin's Hope represents a much-desired new choice among an array of options available within our community.
What Benjamin's Hope offers is the ability for the community to interact with people with autism and developmental disability in an environment that's safer for them. So it allows full community inclusion by choice of other members of the community and by choice of folks with disabilities in a very welcoming and natural environment.
The thought of Melissa being interactive with nature, digging in the dirt and picking produce and helping to wash it and bake and take care of animals. That's the things my husband and I want for Melissa. Envisioning that in her future just gives us so much more peace of mind.
Just a very practical question that families face as their children are approaching adulthood, and particularly as the parents themselves are aging, is where is my child going to live?
Benjamin's Hope will offer creative homeownership opportunity for adults with autism and other developmental differences.
To know that he's safe, it's just huge. I can't explain enough to have that feeling, to know that your child is with someone that you feel comfortable with.
Benjamin's Hope will be a center where parents who find themselves confused by a maze of bureaucracy and paperwork can find straightforward answers regarding available funding options, specialized programs, and clinical breakthroughs.
The programs and services that will be available through that are really designed to help families get to information that they need, get to the best research, most current research that's available, and understand the nature of the developmental difference that they're challenged by.
So we can actually reach large groups of parents by saying, here's the kinds of things that you need to do, and do that day in and day out, week after week. We can do this all in there for groups of people as opposed to trying to do it one-on-one in therapy.
Imagine a place where community and interdependence develops among people with and without disability. Imagine an embracing natural environment where people enjoy meaningful work, treatment, recreation, and worship.
A place like Benjamin's Hope could be a place where families with special needs kids can come and they can connect. They can cry together, they can pray together, they can laugh together, play together, eat together, fellowship in those areas. And when you do that, when you have a place like Benjamin's Hope that can create such an environment, sky's the limit. Healing takes place.
I almost can't imagine it. It would be incredible.
We're very excited. Now we just got to get it from paper to reality.
Our capital campaign is for $4.5 million.
It's my belief that there should be a joint partnership to fund projects like Benjamin's Hope, both public and private, because that's the natural expression of caring that a community should have towards individuals with developmental disabilities and autism.
It's not only the special needs population that can be served by this, but it's the community.
It is all around us. We're talking about our neighbors, we're talking about the people we work with, our relatives, and we can continue to keep it as a segregated, pushed away part, or we can embrace it as a community and say, we can do this differently. It isn't just about enriching their lives, it's about enriching our lives.
Pray about this. Seek the Lord's heart for what your involvement might be. Just be open to it. Everybody has different resources that they can bring, whether it's creativity, business development, ideas, funding, connections. Be willing to be part of it. Commit to being part of it.